Hi, it's Tracy from Tracy's Trendy Decor. I am going to give a second and see if anybody hops on to watch make this plastic table cloth wreath that I posted today. I'm just going to, while we're waiting on somebody to jump on, I will just go in here and try to share this on my business page. If you jump on, please say hello. I know that there is a delay, so it might take me a second to see it, but when I see it, I'll try to say hello back. I can't really see who's on until you give me a comment or I look later. I'm going to try to go on here. I'm still trying to figure out all this live stuff. Oh, goodness. Just give me a second. Oh, hi, Kayleen. Hi, Kathy. I see your comments. Try to go in here and share this. See how good I am at it. I see there is a few people on. I can tell there's people on. I just can't tell exactly who they are. So say hello. Oh goodness. I'm trying to share this from my business page. Of course, it's not wanting to. Whoops. And I hate laptops. Hi, Mary. How are you? I am trying. I think I got it shared. I'm going to try to see, every time I try to see my comments quicker. Oh, thanks, Kayleen. I got this t-shirt in the mail yesterday, so I put it on today. I really like it. Thanks. I've been ordering too much stuff online. How have you guys been doing? I'm good at ordering stuff online under normal circumstances, but it's been worse lately. Hi, Gina. How are you? I'm going to go here, like I'm watching this, and see if I can see your all's comments come up better. Whoops. Okay. So again, just say hello if you didn't hear me before, that way I can say hello back. I like to see who's watching. We're going to try to make this. I'm going to try to show you how to make this plastic tablecloth wreath. That was actually a lot of fun, and I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but I thought it turned out really cute. And if you go buy the stuff at the Dollar Tree, you can get 3 tablecloths for $1 each, and the wreath frame for $1. So technically, if you had some ribbon at home laying around, which I have ribbon all the time, you can make it for like $5 or less. Hi, Nancy. Hi. Two Nancys. Hi, both of you. Hi, Danielle. Hi, Gigi. So you have to have this, or a wreath form. I mean, you could do it any size. Like I have these smaller wreath forms. You could even do one small too if you wanted. It's just these ones from the Dollar Tree are cheaper. Sometimes they come in a 2-pack I think it's a 10-inch that you can get in a 2-pack, which is a little bigger than that other one. You can't always find them in there though. So and this is the wreath in case you didn't see it earlier, that I made. This is what I'm going to show you how to make. You just need 3 plastic tablecloths, and you could do it all the same color, or you could do it in different colors. I chose to do patriotic. I actually have these colors I'm going to do next, which I think are really cute. It's like coral and white, and I have this coral and white ribbon. I think that'll be really cute, so I think I'm going to do that too. And I went on and cut some of the strips because I didn't want to bore you, but I was just going to leave this one to show you how to cut your tablecloth. I actually got these tablecloths, well, this one might have came from the Dollar Tree. Just leave your tablecloth folded. Although I have learned from making them, this is just making it the second time of cutting them the first time. I just opened it and took, there's like a little flap here, and I think it's better if you make these meet in the middle. But it really wouldn't matter either way. You could do it either way. I just think I can get more pieces if I make those flaps meet in the middle instead of being crooked. So then I'm just going to fold that right back over is all I'm doing. If you have any questions, let me know. If I don't see them, I will answer them when I get finished. So I'm going to move this aside for a minute. you do need some really good scissors because you're cutting through kind of a thick layer of plastic. So I'm using like some heavy duty like kitchen type scissors. Hi Karen, I love you too. I'm just going to take and literally, you don't have to be precise, which is hard for me because I'm OCD about everything, but you really don't have to be precise with these because even if they're a little bit off or crooked or you don't get them cut exactly right, you can't tell it when you tie them on the wreath. So I'm just going to literally cut this right down the center. And it's a little bit hard, like I said, because it is like quite a few layers, but it actually cuts okay as long as you have some. If you had dull scissors, I don't think it would work. So see, now I have 2 strips. I cut that right down the middle. So I'm just going to cut each one of those strips down the middle again. I wish making a fabric rag wreath was as easy as cutting these tablecloths. I'd probably make a lot more fabric rag wreaths. Those fabric rag wreaths, which we'll do one day, they're a little bit more time consuming to get the fabric ready. So literally we're just cutting both of those right down the center. So now we have four sections of our tablecloths. So now you're just gonna fold these right in half and literally just keep an eye on where the actual center is. I was trying to put my finger in there. So I'm gonna fold them like right in half, and I'm just gonna take my scissors and cut the, oh, I got it off track a little. You're just gonna cut that right in half again. And like, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're gonna do that with all of these. So I'm just cutting them in half. Oops. So then, you could do it one of 2 ways. You can go, I'm just going to go because there is, I don't know if you can see, there's still folds here, so those need cut. So I'm going to just go through here and literally cut the folds right down. And they do, again, you don't really have to worry about them being straight, but you just want to make sure you have separate pieces. And you won't get all of them because I noticed I didn't get all of them, so if when I go through and I'm taking them apart, sometimes I just have to cut them as I go, the rest of them. But I just try to get as many as I can done ahead of time. Also, if you think about it, if you could sprinkle and like my video or love it or laugh at it, whatever you want to do to express yourself, that would be great. And that helps me out. So then I'm also, see this end has also got folds. So I'm literally just going to take my scissors and cut the folds. So you kind of got to do that with some of them. Same thing with these. You see they've got folds. So I'm just going to go right down the center and cut the folds. And these also have the side ones, which you'll see that some of your pieces will be smaller and you won't use those. You want them to, they don't have to be exact, but you don't want them to be like half the size of the other ones. And sometimes these are harder to get into, so sometimes I end up cutting those as I go. Oops, I got too many in my hand, I think. Flip them this way. So I'm literally just looking for the folds and going down the centers of each one. And you could do this any way you want. You know, I can do some of that as I go. And the same thing with these. They've got folds, so you can cut those down the sides. Yeah, Lori, we all do need to laugh right now so we don't go nuts, right? Oh, goodness. I shared something earlier. I can't remember exactly how it said it, but it was like, I am a homebody, but dang, I'd like to go somewhere sometimes. I really do. I've been going to the grocery store every 2 weeks with Emily, my daughter, and we've been going to Sam's Club in the grocery store literally every 2 weeks. So thank you, Darlene, for sprinkling. I appreciate it. So I'm not going to do all these. So so you take a few of them after you get them the way you want them. And you're going to take, see, they're kind of like a square end, which you could leave them like this if you wanted to. But to make them look like the pointed ends, you just take the end of them and literally just cut a point, kind of like so I'm literally just cutting a point in the end and kind of curving it around on each end. So then you're going to do that, and they end up like this. So then when you go through, some of them might end up, these are all separated. Some of them might end up with that fold in them, and you just might have to cut them again, which really was no big deal to do that. I had to do that on a few when I made my other one. And see, I'm picking that up, and there's one that wasn't cut. So I'm literally just going to do that again on these. And you could hold as many as you want to do it. It's just a little bit easier if you take half of them. Oh, thanks, Lori, for explaining that for me. I appreciate it. Facebook doesn't like us to use that other word. I'm not even sure exactly why, but we can get in trouble. So I'm trying to follow the rules and use the word sprinkle. So I'm going to leave these to the side for a minute so we're not on here forever. So I already cut the white. I did the same thing with the white, and I did the same thing with the red. It's over here, I think you can see. So literally, you're just going to take your wreath, and if you've never worked with one of these, let me get some of my scraps out of the way here. I think you can see that it's kind of curved, like it kind of curves around. So you just want to make sure when you set it down that it's curving on the top and you're not working upside down. So make sure it's sitting flat on the table. So I found out that when you do 3 colors together, it's true. That's true, Lori. I should do that. That's actually a good idea. I might start that. So if you're doing 3 colors, I found it was better to take 2 of each one. So in my head, I automatically think red, white, and blue. So I'm just going to start with red. Chris, I was trying to look over here at my laptop to see if I could see comments any quicker, but I think they're coming up on my phone okay, so I don't mean to act like I'm staring at you. Okay, so so you just separate them. So I have 2 reds. So I'm literally gonna start. You could start anywhere. I'm starting in the center because I feel like as I go out, I'm not putting my hands on top of it, although sometimes at the end I end up holding it up anyways. So literally you just want to make sure that they're even when you're literally just taking it through. I think you can see what I'm doing there, but I'll just bring it up closer so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Just bring it up through. So I'm just going to take it up and just tie it right around. And you just want to make sure you're kind of keeping your ends even. And because these are plastic cheap tablecloths, you have to kind of just barely pull it through and then get really close to the knot and just pull it. You don't want to, like on a fabric rag wreath, I would be pulling really tight and not worrying about it. But on these, you don't want them to stretch. So you're just going to go down real close to the knot and just kind of pull it. You're going to put them in there kind of tight, so it won't matter that the knot isn't like super tight. Just make sure it's snug around there. So see, I have 2 tight on there. Darlene's asking what size. This is a Dollar Tree wreath form. They only sell 14-inch in there, so this is 14-inch, so it's $1. They do sell a 2-pack of 10-inch sometimes, but not all the time. Usually they just have these, and lately they haven't even had these. I ordered some online. I had to order a case if you order them online. So there's 2 together. So I'm just, in my head, I'm thinking red, white, and blue, so I just keep going red, white, and blue. So I'm just going to pick up 2 white, and then I'm going to, no, we're not going to, I promise we're not going to go through do this whole wreath. It's a little time consuming, but it's something that you can do just while it's mindless, and you can do it while you're watching TV, or as long as you got all your stuff cut up. You could even cut your cloths while that you're watching TV. And like this one is kind of weird. Like it's got a little jagged end. I found out that that doesn't matter. You can't even tell it. And every now and then you'll have one of these that maybe the end was straight instead of pointy. As long as you've got one end that's pointy, I would still use it. Unless it's completely... Chris says, I have someone watching from San Antonio, Texas. Wow, I think that's the farthest I've had somebody. I didn't see that. Welcome from San Antonio, Texas. I'm not sure who that is. I'll have to go back and look. You have to put a comment. Or you must have already. I'm assuming that's how Chris knows. I can't see all the comments as we go. I'm sorry. Okay, so see this one. I'm pulling up and it's kind of like weird. So I'm just going to take and cut the end off. And then, of course, this is one that has the just the fold in it. So I'm just going to go straight down the middle of the fold and cut it. And sometimes you have to do that as you go because they're really thin and it's really hard to get every single one of them cut. And usually you just go straight down through there because it's so thin. And again, you need good scissors. Oh, it's Chris's cousin. No wonder she knows they're from San Antonio, Texas. I'm like, how does she know that? Welcome. I'm so glad you joined us. I was in my head still thinking, how does she know they're from Texas? So now we have red, white, and blue. We did 2 of each one. So see, if you look at the back, you'll see there's the knots. And you want to make sure that your points and your tails are all coming up to the top all the time. So like this one, you'll see they kind of want to come back through a little bit, but you can kind of look and see that you can see that it's all kind of flat right through here because that's all the knots. And I made sure all the tails are coming in. Oh, hi, Carolyn. Nice to meet you. I'm glad you're on. My OCD is going to go nuts. What do you mean? Because of all the crooked pieces? I do have OCD really bad, but I'm working on it. So I'll do a little bit of this just so you can see kind of how it ends up turning out. And then we will, it's kind of it's very repetitive, but I'll do a couple rows here in case you guys have questions. If you have any questions, let me know. It's really easy. It's not hard at all. The main thing is keeping your ends straight because you want it to have a uniform look all the way around. You don't want it to be crooked. Of course, if there is any crooked places, you can kind of trim them and give it a haircut after you're done. So again, I'm just doing red, white, and blue. And then when we get through showing you this a little bit, I'm going to try to show you how to make the bow I made using your hands because I know not everybody has. I actually use this little Bodabra to make my bow, but I know not everybody has one of those, so I'm going to try to show you how to do that with your hands. I don't do that. I mean, I know how to do them. I don't do them all the time because I've got used to my gadgets, but I think I can do it to show you how because a lot of people have been asking. So I'm just doing 2 of each. You just do 2 and you're going to tie each one separate. I was just going to show you when I get to the end here that you want to make sure they're in there kind of snug because where you're not tying the knots overly tight because you don't want to stretch your plastic. And like that little piece, obviously you wouldn't use that one. That's going to be trash. And there's going to be those in there because the way that the tablecloths are folded. And if you wanted to get precise with the cutting, you could. Unfold them and kind of cut it in lesser amounts. So we have red, white, and I did got tie happy on a couple of them and ended up pulling them too tight, and you could really tell. So I just cut them off and then put a new one in because you don't want them to look like they're stretched out, or your wreath won't look fluffy. It won't look as neat. Thanks, Kathy. Kathy, I seen you were on 270 earlier. Kathy's my sister-in-law. She's on my Life 360 app. We track each other. And you weren't supposed to you haven't been getting out of the house much. Where did you go on 270, girlfriend? Get something to eat. I was going to text you and then I got sidetracked. Matt brought home KFC for dinner tonight. We had chicken. I wish today was Friday. I'm over this work week. I'm thankful to be working, but phew. Carolyn, I can do my best to post the instructions. I haven't actually got them typed out or anything, but I think I could probably do that. And you can always refer back to this video. It'll be on my page forever. It'll be on the page. So you can go back, just click on my page and go to videos, and it'll always be there for you to refer back to if you need to. And when you go back after it's over, you can just fast forward to the part you want to get to. Makes it easier. And of course, if you're doing it and you have any questions, feel free to send me a message. I'll be glad to help you. Okay, so we're getting to the end of the bar here. So I just want to show you. So see, the wreath is in sections. There's like crossbars. Oh yeah, you can get back on and watch. So you went to Best Buy. Oh, Paul's worn out his Xbox thingy. All these kids are on overtime with video games. So I'm going to try to show you. I'm at the end, but I'm going to try to just push that and see I can make like room for like 2 more. So you just want them in there. You don't have to push it like real tight, but you just want it snug. So I'm going to go on and put 2 more in the end of this one. For some reason, that red tablecloth is folded funny, because even on my other one, the red was different. I ended up with all those short pieces. So I'm just going to shove in 2 more reds here, and it is kind of tight right by that crossbar, but you want it to be tight. You don't want your pieces, you don't want your strips to move around. So you want them to be right in beside the crossbar. So see, I've filled in from this crossbar to this crossbar, and I could probably push really hard and get some more, like 1 more in there, but I'm not, as long as it's snug, that's all I'm worried about. It doesn't have to be like super, super tight. It just needs to be snug. So I think you guys get the gist. So I'm just going to, so you go through and you're going to fill in every ring all the way around. And I like to go from the inside out, but like I said, you do how you want to do. When you get to the end, these last 2, it's getting fuller and fuller and fuller. So sometimes even with all this, I'll just kind of set this on the side, and then I'll just work from this way. Just make sure that you're, as you're tying, that you're making your knot go to the top and not the bottom. And then when you get done, you're going to make sure everything's pushed back up in there, so that mostly all you want to see from the back are your little knots. And then when you turn it over, you're just going to go, when you turn it over, where you've had it up against a table or something, where you were doing that, all you got to do is go like this and just fluff it out, and it'll fluff right back out. So I'm going to show you what I did to make this bow. Let's see. I started with red, it looks like, so. And if you have any questions, like I said, ask, and I'll answer. I'll try, if I see them now, I'll answer now, obviously, but if not, I'll do it later. When I get done, I'll check them. So this ribbon is pretty easy because both sides look really similar. Actually, all 3 of these ribbons, they all have sides that look really similar. I was going to show you, like this one. See how this side on this ribbon is plain and this side is the pretty side. When you're doing a bow, you always want to make sure your pretty side's out. But on these ribbons that I used, we don't have to worry about it too much. I still try to twist them just because I can kind of tell the top, but it really wouldn't matter. So you want to leave ever how long of a tail. I always try to leave a little bit longer than I think I want, because I can always cut it shorter, but I can't make it longer. I mean, you could, but it's kind of hard to attach a tail on. It's just more work. So I'm not even gonna measure, since we're making this by hand. Just so you know, I'll put it down here and tell you I'm going backwards. So 36 to 25. It's like an 11-inch tail I've got here. So I'm just gonna hold where the end of my tail was at, and I'm gonna make a loop. And you don't have to make a very big loop because it's not really that big of a wreath, but you can make it as big or small as you want. And then when you make that loop, you're going to twist it and you're going to come back around to make another loop. So then just to make sure they're even with your hands, since you don't have a gadget, I just try to make sure I hold down here and then pull with my finger, and see, I can kind of tell that one's shorter, so I'm going to put a little bit more slack in it. So now they're more uniform. Lori's asking what is the name. Well, I order from different places, but my main one that I like to order from is called craftoutlet.com. And they had some people sick with COVID-19, and they've been like opening up for a couple of days, then shutting down for a few days, then opening up. And right now they have it disabled that you can't order. But when they are in full swing business, I think if you spend $69, it's free shipping, but you get your order within like 2 or 3 days. Like, they are so quick. But I do order from Hobby Lobby and Michael since we've been on stay-at-home order. But Hobby Lobby, I love Hobby Lobby to walk in there to look around, but they're online. It takes a while to get it. You don't get it that quick. So we have our two Lordy loops. I can't think what I'm trying to say. See, I got ADD. So then we're gonna just bring it back over. Now, if we were doing that ribbon I showed you a minute ago, you're gonna make sure your pretty side's on the outside. But I'm just gonna make sure these are about the same size, because these are still equal size. We're doing 2 on each side. So I'm just making sure that my tail stays down. I've got my thumb on this one, and then I'm literally just gonna make another loop. And I'm just gonna make sure it's about the same size. And I'm gonna bring my tail down here. So I think that these are literally pipe cleaners that I got from the Dollar Tree. And I thought it was a good time to use them because I had some bright colors. So I'm gonna, well, really, I guess we could use red on this, but it don't really matter because we're gonna stack it. So just to show you how to make it, if I was doing it on my little gadget over here, I wouldn't do this. But by hand, it can get a little confusing when you're stacking on top of each other and then trying to hold it all at one time. So once you get your first layer down, you can actually go on and put a pipe cleaner on it. And now we've got this part made. We put 2 loops on each side, and then our tails are hanging down. So I'm just going to put this to the side because I put a pipe cleaner on it. So then I was trying to look what I use next. I use this one. So, well, I better not put it to the side. I might show you, we probably need to measure on it a little bit. So, well, look, where's the end of this side? It's right there on the other one. So this one, I'm going to make the tail just a little bit shorter. Well, I guess I could cut this off. Whoops, I didn't cut it off the thing. I'm just throwing stuff. Okay, so I'm going to make the tail just a little bit shorter because I like to just have them graduate as well as they go down. Once you get it done, I like to have the length be a little different. So I'm just going to make it a little bit shorter, which I cut that one too long. So then I'm just going to start here and I'm going to make a loop. And I'm just going to, the reason I'm going to watch this is because on this second loop, I don't want my loop to be as long as these loops. I want it to be a little bit shorter. Hi, Aunt Kay, I love you. So I want them to be a little bit shorter. So I'm going to leave, like, you could do ever how you want it to look, but I like to do maybe like an inch. So then I'm just going to, since I know what length I want it, I'm just going to keep my thumb there and I'm going to just fold around again. And again, I'm going to take my fingers and just kind of try to make sure that they're the same size, which that one is shorter. So it's easy for them to get shorter. So I'm just going to put a little slack in it. And it might be easier for you to put your thumb down like on a hard surface so that you can just pull up on that and know that they're even. If you mess them up, you're putting a pipe cleaner on them when you make the bow, and you can kind of just pull them back through if you work with it. So on this one, we're just going to take another pipe cleaner and we'll just tie that. And it's easier if you twist your bow instead of your pipe cleaner because it gets tighter. And I'm just going to cut the tail. So there's our second layer. And so now, oops, we're just going to take this layer and open up the top part, and you're going to just make sure it goes right through your tails and in the middle of your ribbon, your bow, and hold it in the back, and then take this and twist it so that it's straight. So see, now you've got, these are in the middle, and you kind of know how you want your bow to look. So I'm going to pull this back here, and I'm just going to twist it again. So now I have these two attached. So you could do two things here. I chose to take a third ribbon. And I'm gonna just make sure my tail's a little bit shorter. I'm gonna show you, I just wanna make sure I have it cut. Okay, so, I probably cut that too long. I'm good at wasting ribbon. So on the one I made, I was just making the little center part. So literally I would just take this and make the little center and leave my tails. Now if this were two-sided ribbon, and you want to make sure you twist that around till your pretty sides on the outside. And then you would just take that and you would put it right in here and take a pipe cleaner and put it around, which is what we're going to do in a second. But I'll show you in case you don't want to do that. You could also, I was going to see if I had another, let's see if I have another ribbon here to go around this. Well, this red might work just to show you. I've got a bunch of scraps. I save everything. Okay, so you could take a piece of ribbon. You could even take the same kind of ribbon, and you could fold it. Just fold it over. Fold it fold it over in the middle, and then just fold it over on top of itself. Again, just to make a straight loop. And you could also take this, and you can put it around this like this, and make like a center that way, and then you just tie this really tight in the back and cut your ends off. So that can also, if you have a hard time with those centers, that's a good way to make a ribbon, to make your bow look like it has a center. But I like to put my center, so I'm just gonna go on and do what I was showing you a second ago. And this is all wire, so if it gets twisted, you just fix it when you get done. I typically wouldn't use this many pipe cleaners. I'm just trying to show you the easiest way to make it by hand, because sometimes you have a hard time holding all the ribbons. So I'm literally just going to take this and I put that on there and just put it around. And you're going to have two tails coming out the same side, but we're going to fix that in just a second. So I'm going to twist my bow, because that makes it tighter if you twist your bow. So now we're going to go back and we're going to fluff our ribbon. So we take our middle piece and I usually start there on this kind of a bow. And you're just going to put your loops where you want them and fluff them. And then I'm kind of backwards. I was trying to show this to the camera, but I usually would hold that with my left hand to do this with my right. So let's see if I can do this. So you're going to pull down all of your loops, and see you can fix that because it's wire, so it's going to go in the center. So then I just take my, this is a 1.5 inch ribbon. So I usually a lot of times I'll just cut these at an angle. You can dovetail the ends, like you can fold it in half, and then you just start at the fold and cut towards the open part in a diagonal line. And it's called a dovetail, and you can make it like that if you want, which that works on these, but usually for these, I usually just cut them at a slant when they're the thinner ribbon. And I usually cut one going this way and one going the other way. So then when you put them together, I'll show you in just a second. I've kind of got that one a little bit long. And these could probably be a little shorter. Okay, so when you cut the diagonal, when you put these together, see, it makes a V. And I put this together, it makes a V. It's just kind of how it makes it look uniform. So there's your bow. And when you get done with you can, if you're making it by hand and you're using more than one pipe cleaner, you can literally take these and twist them really good and cut some off. You could take and twist them together So you have, because you're going to need 2 ends. So then when you go to put it on your wreath form has these 4 wires. So what I typically do is slide it in between. I look for these 2 bars in the middle, and I just take and slide my pipe cleaner on each side of that bar through your tablecloths. So literally they're going to go through each side. I think you can see just like that, and then you're just going to twist them, and then they'll just twist and it'll stay on. So you just twist and it'll stay on your wreath, and then you can either roll these up or you can cut them as long as you've got it twisted really good. So I hope that all of you I hope it was easy enough to figure out. And again, if you have any questions, I feel like I'm so close because I was trying to let you guys see it from an angle. If you have any questions, please make sure to leave them on here. If you've asked one and I haven't answered it, it's because I didn't see it, and I'll go back and check them and I'll make sure I answer them. And if you could please, as Lori said, shower or sprinkle my video and like it or react to it, I would really appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys watching, and I'm hoping to come back on either tomorrow night or the next night. I'll have to see how tomorrow goes. We'll see. I'm going to try to make some flower. I already made flowers. I'm going to show you guys how to make the flowers. I could show them to you. What did I do with it? Oh, I stuck it up here. So I made these flowers. They're out of burlap and felt. And you can make them to use on, and this is a pizza pan craft I did with these, but you can use these on packages or on other crafts that you make or anything. So we're going to do this next as a live. I only got 1 hot glue gun blister from doing these, so that was pretty good. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night, and I hope you come back. I'll talk to you later. Bye.